Some time back I did show you a hyperlink, an anchor that would take you to another page, and I'm not going to go over that all in great detail again because you can go back to that video and have a look at it. So if you're trying to remember that, can you hyperlink images, the answer is yes. How do you do it? The same way you do text. Remember that web pages, HTML doesn't often distinguish between images and text. What we've got here is in fact 5 different ways of linking to a page. The first one is a straightforward anchor. The A is for anchor, href for hyperlink reference, that's the attribute of the anchor, and that's the compulsory one. You must have href equals, and then what page you're going to. If it's a page within your website, then all you do very simply is just put the name in there as it appears. Remember, if it's to a page, then that page has to be with the same page you're linking from. So this page here is called index.html. You can see the address on my computer, and there's page 2, which is also in the same location, and just to prove that, they're both there, index and page 2. If that page is not in the same location, then this link will fail because it can't find it. Imagine that these are rooms, it's looking in the room in which it's in. If it can't find it, it won't explore any further. So, title. Nowadays you really should be putting a title on all your hyperlinks. That's text that's going to appear, it's going to tell someone about it. It's not always listed as compulsory. It should be, as far as you're concerned. It's netiquette, and that's politeness on the internet, and it equally helps as a piece of information, and it's just a nice thing to do. Let's have a look at how that works. So that's the code, there's the page, that's the link. Make a normal link to an anchor to another page, click on that, and that loads page 2. Now page 2 is nothing more than junk text I've grabbed. If I scroll down, and you can see through the scroll bar that I'm going down, it's the same text over and over and over again. So why the hell have I bothered? Well, because right down here I've got a heading 1, and this heading 1 is important. And then I've got the rest of the text, and it's the same drivel text all again. But that heading 1 in the middle is important, so let's find out why. Page 2. This is the page 2 HTML, and I can see that drivel code, and as I scroll up, there's the H1. But notice I've used an anchor in a really strange way. I haven't used it in the normal way. A name equals, and there it is, it's linking there. So the question is what does this do? It's obviously not a hyperlink, and I haven't got the hyperlink yet. I said it's compulsory. Well, there are certain times. This is called a bookmark, and just like a bookmark in a book, which marks the page you're on, this marks a location on a page. That means that this next link says go to page HTML #duck. Now, if you paid attention, you'd notice the name of this bookmark is duck. I could have called it anything, and clearly I have. Well, no, I didn't call it anything, I called it duck. Anything is spelled completely different. But there's the duck, and it's saying go to page 2 HTML and then find the bookmark duck. If the bookmark duck does not exist, then all it will do is go to the top of page 2. I've put the title in again, netiquette, specific location. So let's see how that one works. So let's go back to the page, reload it. Specific location, click on that, and it jumps me, and it pulls that up to top. If this page wasn't long enough, then this subsection would be lower down on the page, but I've made sure it's long enough, so it's jumped to that section. It's gone to page 2 and to the bookmark. Making another link to the same page as before. All that this page does, this one took us to page 2, but notice how I've got to use the back button to go back to the page I was. How much nicer it is if I can click on that, and it's opened it in a new tab. Now I have 2 tabs. So that's useful. That helps it, and the only piece of code that does that is this target property here. Remember, pause the video, type this in, have a go, see how it works, make sure it works for you. Now, the next thing, that was actually the target here. This one is an external website, which is going to doing the same thing, but this now takes you to an external website. And as I said very early on when I showed you this, do make sure you use the HTTP, and do put this slash at the end, by the way. Lots of people miss this off, but it actually doubles the work by your browser, which slows your website down. Let's have a look at how that works. Make a link to an external website. Click on there, and it's taken me to there. It's actually opened it in a whole new page. I've used blank again, but in this case, because this is local to my machine and this is on the internet, the browser has insisted that it opens up in a new window for security reasons. But that works quite nicely. But I do have other ones on there. I'm just going to save this page, go back to my page 1 and reload it. I have also made myself a mail link. Notice the title works. The mail link is the same way, but I've got mail to, and then I've got an email address. I've even got a subject line. Notice this strange thing, %20. If you've got a space between words, you must replace it with %20, and anything like this in any web page. This is why spaces in file names cause a massive amount of headaches, because for every single one you've got to put %20 in. And that simply means there's a space there. So this will come up with hello world. Now I can't prove that to you, you can experiment with these, but quite simply if I clicked on that it would open up my email system and then allow me to send an email. Certain other things, just to make sure that this is clear as anything. Let's go back to this first link. I'm looking to page2.html. Let's now go to here and let's create a new folder. Let's put our page 2 into that folder, and let's just prove to ourselves that I'm just going to close this page down. That's what it's complaining about, because of course I've moved it. Let's just prove to ourselves that that isn't going to work. Reload, and that's the error. You may see a 404 error or something else. It can't find that page because it's not in the same location. There's my index, it can't find it. So how do I tell it to go into a folder? Well, that's actually very, very simple. All you've got to do is put the information in. And it works. Similarly, if I wanted to go the other way around, so let's now close that page down. Let's move index into there, go into there, and then take page 2 out. So now that's not going to work because my page 2 isn't in test folder. The index is in the test folder and the page 2 is back one. Well, actually, again, the command's very simple. All you've got to do is 2 dots. 2 dots means go back one folder. Oops, should open it up in another browser really, shouldn't I? Into there, there it comes. And there it goes. That simple command. And in case you don't believe me, remember view source. There it is, 2 dots. Click on that and it will take me back, and I can see the address up here. That helps me enormously move around a website that's got lots and lots of different folders. What if I want to go back 2 folders? Well, 2 folders would be simple. Well, if I want to go back 3 folders, well, that's simple. You can go back as many folders as you like. You have got to worry about structure, but with HTML you're working with a static site. So that's how you would use hyperlinks to move around your website, move to other websites. Try to remember with your websites that if you have got a link to an external site, just as we did here, do open it up in another page. Don't put a link in that loses your website. You've just taken someone away from your website and they may not come back. Keep that. They're still on your website. They can still explore your site even though they're on someone else's as well. Okay, I hope that helps.